He was one of the more iconic wrestlers in the history of the WWE, and Rowdy Roddy Piper is now passed away at the age of 61. To discuss his impact on professional wrestling and how it's also his death is being received, let's bring in my fellow SportsCenter anchor, Jonathan Coachman. And Coach, you spent 10 years working for Vince McMahon at the WWE. How is Piper's death being received throughout the professional wrestling world?
Well, he's one of those guys that in the world of pro wrestling, and specifically if you work for Vince, respect is the number one word, Michael, that we lived by. And Rowdy Roddy Piper was respected as a person who was kind of a trailblazer, you know, from the early 80s, being a part of the first WrestleMania. And if that first WrestleMania wouldn't have gone the way that it did, then the WWF and then the WWE now probably would not even be in existence. That's how important of a role that he played. Now, he had his ups and downs in his life, as a lot of pro wrestlers do. So is it heartbreaking? Yes. Was he part of the family? Yes. Once you're a part of it for any extended period of time, you feel it every single time something like this happens. And unfortunately, several of these icons and legends have passed away in the last 10 to 15 years. So it's very sad, and certainly fans connect. Anybody that's 35 or older, I think, really connects with what Roddy Piper was all about, and the heel persona that he brought to the table every single time he was on TV.
Yeah, he had the personality, he had the mouth to go with it, but sometimes we forget about the athleticism that is displayed in the rings across professional wrestling, and especially for him, Coach, to do it for as long as he did. Speak to that aspect of the wrestler that Rowdy Roddy Piper was.
Well, you can speak, you can have good mic skills, but you have to be able to, especially back in the 70s and the 80s, because a Iron Man match was more the norm than it was the occasional happenstance. So this was a guy that could get in the ring, and we use the term work, Michael. It was, if you can get in and work with anybody from any different style, then that's when you truly know that you're a star in this business. And Rowdy Roddy Piper could work with Hulk Hogan, who was somewhat limited in the ring, or he could work with a guy who was very, very athletic in the ring as well. So he was a tremendous athlete, but because his personality was so big, you're absolutely right. That was very much overshadowed throughout the years as far as his career is concerned.
Yeah, he would definitely be missed from wrestling fans all across the country and the world for that matter. Jonathan Coachman, thanks so much for the insight, and for more on this story, be sure to keep it locked right here to ESPN.com.